trembling. Well, I'm sweating like a dog, waiting for the clock to strike 12. That's the life of an outlaw man.
Right, good morning and welcome back. Okay, here we are. This is a perfect example of the love and kindness of the machining and engineering community. We have been absolutely astonished. Our guest has been flabbered. Seriously, we had no idea of the welcome, the good wishes and the kindness that we would get from you out there in the metal turning and machining community. It's been amazing. The advice, the guidance, the tips have just been constant, and there probably is the highest amount of comments on that video than there has been all year or maybe ever. Honestly, we have been blown away. Thank you so much to all of you. And this is a perfect example in real life of how much love there is. This is a gift from my friend Jim, so thank you, brother. I really appreciate this. All these bar ends and little pieces of stock have come purely as a gift so that I can get some practice in. I can practice on different materials. I've got mild steel, I've got 304, 303, I think some 316 stainless steel. I've got all manner of different materials, PTFE plastic, Delrin plastic, brass, copper, all sorts of things, little offcuts that I can use to practice on to get to know the characteristics of how these metals turn and how they behave in the lathe. And it gives me practice so that I can get better, I can stay safe, practicing on a piece of scrap, and also at the same time not mess up projects that I want to do for myself. So here we are. This is a perfect example of YouTube at its finest. This is what the YouTube community is all about. So Jim, thank you, brother. I deeply appreciate this. This really is a greater help than you'll ever know. Thank you so much, and thank you to all of you for your kind help, advice, guidance and good wishes in what I'm about to do with the lathe. So today is going to be project number 1 on the lathe. Day 1, week 1, the first ever project. So let's show you what I'm going to do. Okay, the first challenge I've set for myself with the lathe is, this is my black marker pen that I use to mark lines out that I'm going to cut. And it isn't really the right way to do it because it's not very accurate. What you should use is a sharp metal scriber to scribe the lines. So I'm going to make one today using these, or one of these. This is a cheap set of darts, cost $3.99. Just going to use the head part as the scriber, and for a handle to set myself a bit of a challenge, something interesting. Could easily just stack a bit of brass in there and make a little bit to go on the end, but why not use this? This is the twisted steel that I made with Kai at Loyalty Custom Choppers. Stick a link underneath for you, and I'm going to use that to make a handle. It's going to involve what's called apparently an interrupted cut, because you're chipping at it until you've got through all these corners, which will be interesting, and a little chamfer on it and a curve on the end, and lots of options and opportunities to do interesting stuff. But that's a lot of chat. Let's use this bit of steel to make a handle on one of these darts to make myself a metal scriber. Let's see how it goes. Right, that's just taken half an hour to get that twisted metal centered in the lathe, because it's all twisted and a knobbly surface, and a 3-jaw chuck. A 4-jaw won't be any easier, because as much as you can adjust it, you're still going to be off on one of them because it's got a twisted ridge pattern in it. But there we are, half an hour later, finally got the piece of steel centered in the lathe, so I can do a little facing cut on it and put a dimple in the end so I can hold it the other end.
brought me to tears. That's the life of an outlaw man.
Right, that's made the handle. There it is. That's the handle from my Scriber. Nice, chunky, feels good. And with the twisted steel, I've got a really good grip on it. Love it. So that's that. That's the handle. Let's make the head. This is an M5 thread. This is about M4 by the look of it. Doesn't go in, so I'm going to drill it out. Drill down enough. I'm going to take this little taper off the back there and then put the knurled edge straight part of the shank up against the taper on the handle, so that gives me a nice fat looking head on it. And then I've got to drill down inside and then tap it out. It's not brass, it's brass plated steel, so it should be easy enough. There we are, one handle. Let's make the head. Right, so there we are. End X, job done. Been a long day, nearly 8 hours in all. That thing is a time machine. It truly does take up a lot longer than you think to do the operations on that. When you see the speeded up videos of people doing turning, there's lots and lots of time gone into those. I respect that an awful lot more now, and I've been watching them and learning, and today was about practicing a few of the disciplines that I see other people doing. One was cutting a chamfer, so that I can do that when I want to reduce the size of something like that. Also an interrupted cut. I didn't understand what that was until I read about it. Quite simply a knobbly thing. So rather than cutting something that's smooth and round and getting a smooth cut, obviously you're cutting something knobbly, and it's a little bit more care and consideration, because obviously the tool can chip against the edges and then break it and so on. So that was a little bit of fun learning that as well. This has been a learning experience. I know I've probably made 8 million mistakes, and I know you'll tell me all of them, and I value that because it is a learning experience right the way down the line. But after cutting chamfers, some boring, I haven't got any spot drills, that's why I didn't spot drill it. Once I've got a spot drill, then I will do it properly next time. So that was that. And so boring, threading, internal, external, chamfer cutting, interrupted cut, loads of those little things I got to practice today. And at the end of the day, I have a metal scriber, and there ain't another one in the world like it. There we go. Project number 1, more to come, but in the next one, back on the fighter build. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. See you next time.